I'm at Flatiron in Westfield. There are 13 of these, nearly all of them are in central London, and they're growing so fast I expect there to be another one opened before I finish this video. I went to one in Covent Garden 2 weeks ago, had a bit of an experience. I'm not going to say whether it was good or whether it was bad, but it prompted me to finally start reviewing restaurants on a YouTube channel, which I've been meaning to do for ages. So, as a wise food blogger once said, let's give it a go. So Flatiron is one of those restaurants that only do one thing. They only do steak and chips. The menu's really, really limited. Like if we look down the menu, they do steak, which is one cut, it's a Flatiron cut. You can have chips, you can have garlic mash, you can have cream spinach, you can have a salad, you can have truffled macaroni and cheese, or you can have roast aubergine, tomato, mozzarella and pesto, right? So there isn't really any vegetarian options at all. So if you're vegetarian, certainly don't come here. If you're vegan, you can have a green salad or tap water. But the point of something like this is that they are trying to do a fantastic job of the steak and the chips. And as I said in the introduction, there's 13 of these. There's going to be more of them opening probably by the time I finish editing this and getting it out online. So I came to one of these 2 weeks ago, and the experience I had was, I'm not going to say whether it was a good experience or a bad experience, it was an experience, and I'll come back again to do a video review and see whether it's necessarily different or whether it's consistent. But the thing that put me off when I came here a couple of weeks ago was that they fry the chips in beef dripping. Okay, bit strange. But I can also, but the mash is crispy bone marrow mash, which is also a bit strange. I had the Wagyu last time. I'm not going to have the Wagyu this time. I'm just going to have the normal steak. And let's see where we get to. So the food has arrived, so let's have a look at what we got. We got the chips cooked in beef dripping, which is something of a question mark. We got the steak, which has all been cut up, so I don't get to do it myself, so I don't get to use the crazy knife, which is interesting. The Wagyu I had was all cut. I've got two sauces. I've got béarnaise peppercorn, and I've got the weird, got the artichoke thing. Now the chips. Let's try the chip. So, the thing is, when I had my concerns about coming here the first time, and it was like the chips are cooked in beef dripping, I was like, that can't be good. And they're not. They're kind of like, why have they done that? Let's try one with a bit of sauce. Hold on. Yeah, they're better with the sauce because you can't actually taste the chips. I want to try this aubergine thing next. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, it's not. It's not actually hot, it's cold, so it hasn't been cooked through properly. Let's try the other chips. Actually, that sauce is really nice. The sauce is good. That's the, what was it, the chili mayo? That's nice. That's nice. So let's try a bit of the steak. So it's cooked beautifully. Like honestly, I'll take another video. So I'll tell you the problem with the steak, which this is actually much better than a Wagyu that I had last week. But what they do is they cook it in butter. So they have salted butter that they cook it off. So rather than just using oil and the seasoning, just searing both sides and the edges, they do it in this creamy butter, and you can taste it. And in fairness, the sauce sort of masks it, but you can kind of, it's not quite right. Yeah, it has like, it's a very slight, strange aftertaste to it. So I quite like these chips with this mayo. But the aubergine thing is actually cold. I'm going to try and send that back. I'll get that taken off, I think. It's very Sainsbury's ready meal. Like, it's quite mushy. There's not much texture to it, and like I say, it's not cooked through. So I've come to the food court in Westfield to kind of sum up where I've got to, and to be honest with you, I'm sort of thinking about having a second dinner. The experience I had tonight at Flatiron was the same as the experience I had 2 weeks ago. Like, if we score it up, the ambience, fixtures and fittings, vibes, it was good. That was all right? But it was sort of better than average. But at the same time, this is a central London restaurant going like crazy. So, do we want a little bit better than a 3-star average? Kind of. I'm going to give it 3.5 because actually it was fine. The service is hard because I don't really want to say that the people who were working there didn't do a good job. I think individually, the people who were kind of looking after me, they were fine. But lots of long waits, no real explanation of the menu. There was no kind of feeling of slickness. It felt very like, to me it felt like with the way that they are growing, the lack of sophistication in how that service or that front of house operation is working is going to cause them some problems. And I think that's separate to the issue of the service. The thing is, I was waiting around a lot. I was waiting around an awful long time to get in at every stage. So I'm gonna have to give that a 2. The food, when you're doing something really simple ingredients, really stripped back, it has to be fantastic. Like, and I don't know what the thesis is of what they're doing by adulterating the food like that. Like, it's not difficult to make really good chips. You just use really good quality ingredients and cook them really well. But by putting them in beef dripping, it was kind of like, not to my taste. It was horrible. I did not like them at all. But that could be a matter of taste. I think what was slightly less forgivable was the aubergine side. That was really mushy. It was like a Sainsbury's microwave ready meal where it hadn't been cooked enough. They did take it off the bill, which was great, which was good of them to do, but that wasn't very good. The actual steak itself is obviously the star of the show, is what you go for, and because they cook it in that butter, it just has that weird flavour. The Wagyu was really bad, but I'm not really reviewing the Wagyu. It's what made me go back, but it's what made me not order the Wagyu again this time. The actual, it was cooked rare, the texture was nice, the feel of it was nice. It was fine, it was just the fact that it had this kind of weird taste because of the butter. I'm going to have to give the food a 2 because I think they didn't do what you would expect them to do in that position. You expect them to kind of go, we are so confident at doing steak and chips, we can bring something new. We can define what steak and chips is doing next. The sauces were fine. The portion size of the sauces wasn't great. It was only £1.50. So yeah, I think the food, I'm going to give it a 2. We're sort of all in all, I'm going to have to score Flatiron at 2.8. And really disappointing because now I'm really hungry and some of the places in the food court are shutting up shop for the night. But anyway, thanks for listening and I'll catch you next time.